It was a very, very troublesome morning, I'm sure, for your crews. Can you tell me what you guys experienced that was a little bit different than your average snow event?
Well, what happened was we had been working all through the weekend, and we had quite a bit of snow come down, but it was fairly typical, and we'd had most of the main routes in town taken care of and plowed, and we're in good shape, which are normally what we call priority ones, and by the way, that's about 22% of the city, and during the weekends we try to stick to just doing the main routes because the guys are on overtime, and we try to balance efficiency and production with the additional cost of the labor. So we were in good shape. Well, I came into work this morning about 5:15, and everything was still looking good, but it had started to rain, which I found very unusual, being that the temperature was about 22 to 25 degrees, and I was looking up like, how can it be raining? It should be snowing. And everything was still pretty good, even with the rain on the street that early in the morning, but we were kind of figuring that it could turn south, and what happened probably around 8 or so, and it still continued to rain, and all the streets, all the ones in the main routes that had been plowed, all of a sudden turned to ice, and bad ice. And so we had to have all of our crew go back and re-de-ice all of these streets that had already been plowed. And the streets that we hadn't plowed that still had some snow accumulation on them, they were actually less slick than the ones we had been working on for the past 3 days.
Yeah, because they had some sort of a crust.
Yeah, it was unusual. What I found was strange about it is that the air temp was still cold, but it was raining, and it certainly caused some trouble for us. I'm sure as people were driving around town, they noticed.
Now,
we are still working right now, trying to get caught up. I've got guys that have stayed over on their shifts for overtime, and we will continue to work overtime until hopefully we can get these ones shaped up, and then I heard that it might snow again tonight, so we will continue to work overtime and try to keep up with it and continue on with our priorities 2s and 3s, which I'd like to get into, hopefully in the next couple days, if the weather would cooperate.
So now, if folks have a particular city street that they see as perhaps even impassable, is there a number they can call, or do we just kind of have to wait our turn?
No, by all means. We always like to have people call in, and it's 552-6360. And I realize our voice message is somewhat lengthy, but bear with it and leave us a message if we don't answer. But please let us know. And we're going to try and stick with the priority system and get all the 1s, 2s, and 3s done. And if people have questions about that, it's all on our city website. They can look at how we're doing it and what the priority system is. If we need to make an exception somewhere, we'll have to try and balance that with how far we are in our priorities. I can't promise we're going to be able to jump right out and take care of a request within 10 minutes of the phone call, but we'll try and get to the request